Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Fourth of the Mile podcast. That's Nicholas Jelliot. I'm JD Zaza, and we are back. We are back after another long, inconceivable break. Again, inconsistency. I apologize. We apologize, both of us.
Yeah.
But we do have some major things coming up, including today's episode, and then a few other things that we'll tell you about after we finalize plans. But stay tuned. We got some plans coming up, and possibly a brand new episode. A brand new episode.
Yeah, definitely an in-person episode.
Yeah, we're trying to get that fixed out. But right now, we're here to talk about college football quarterbacks. So today's episode, we're going to talk about the quarterbacks that are leaving school and then returning to school. In this, we're also going to talk about a little bit of the combine stuff if we want to talk about that for quarterbacks. And then we'll also talk about the returners, everything that went on with the court cases and everything. Again, this is basically just a summarization. If you don't follow everything going on in college football on Twitter, that's totally fine. We're going to summarize everything for you in an hour or less because we are always in the weeds, and I personally love it. Nicholas, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Offseason for college football. March Madness is starting. Baseball starting soon. MLB.
Yeah, we're currently in the World Baseball Classic.
Yep.
March Madness Selection Sundays in. Let's see. Today is the 5th. 10 days. We got 10 days till March Madness. We got what else? We got the SEC tournament that we both are going to have a big part in. We'll discuss that a little later. Baseball's been going on, so both of us have been super busy with that. And then college basketball has really been the talk of the town in Tuscaloosa ever since football ended.
Yep.
So let's get started. Quarterbacks centric college football. Here's your summarization. So let's start off with NFL stuff, and then we can go into the players that are just leaving.
Yeah.
Where would you like to start with this? With quarterbacks? Anywhere we can start wherever on quarterbacks.
I was thinking just before. Well, speaking of the quarterbacks that were leaving, one that was on the edge that I thought should have gone in the draft, but he has his insurance because of his age and stuff, is Dante Moore being back at Oregon.
Yeah.
That was headline news. I was back in January right after.
Yeah, it was on SportsCenter. It was a toss up even right before his decision. There were some people that thought he should probably go to the NFL because of the money you can make as the number 2 pick. Again, you make a lot of money as the number 2 pick in the draft. Any top 5, again, being a first round pick, you make a lot of money. But Dante Moore decided to stay at Oregon. Dante Moore, if he decided to leave, probably would have been the number 2 quarterback in this draft. Probably number 2 or in that range after Fernando Mendoza, who we'll get to in a little bit. But Dante Moore, I think his agency kind of said two things to him. The first is you're going to make a lot of money at Oregon. Oregon probably gave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing with NIL. A lot more players are staying long term. Sometimes it's a bad thing, but I actually like keeping the talent in college football for a few more years. Also, it benefits the NFL teams if guys are staying in college for a few years so they can develop and they can have more film and figure out what are his true strengths, what are his weaknesses.
And I believe Dante Moore also had an insurance policy as well. Whenever he won't be really losing much value, really, even with an injury or anything.
No, even with he's gonna be a first round quarterback. I mean, he's going to be probably one of the best quarterbacks this upcoming year, and we'll discuss Oregon a little later when we talk about returning. Another reason he decided to probably stay is because the New York Jets. Now, could the Jets possibly still draft him? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, but I truly think that the two main reasons he decided to stay were one, money that he can make in Oregon. Two, he's still developing. He hasn't played a lot of college football. He's still young. And third, I think he probably wants his last image not to be that Peach Bowl against Indiana.
Yeah.
Because that Peach Bowl was ugly. I thought the Rose Bowl, Indiana beating our team was bad, and then the Peach Bowl happened, and I was like,
yikes. Yeah. So that happened, and then I mean, this past weekend was the NFL Combine. I mean, I didn't really watch much of it, but I had one of my friends that was there. He said that a lot of the fans or those in attendance, every time Carson Beck did something, like they all booed him.
yeah,
Whenever he did something bad, they were all like cheering. It's kind of weird. I mean, Carson Beck had a good season with Miami. I mean, I was almost had a chance to win the game late against Indiana, but I mean, nobody really expected Miami to come out of nowhere and have that kind of year. But so I mean, I don't know what his NFL draft stock is, but I mean,
I'm not 100.
It's kind of a weird storyline from one.
Yeah.
Another guy that probably we wouldn't talk about.
I want to talk about Beck really quick.
Beck, yeah.
I don't get the hate he gets that bad. I thought he was just a mid quarterback in college. Like he wasn't
just like his looks.
I thought he was good. He never lived up to the 5-star, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bust either. He played really good football at Georgia, and then he played really good football at Miami. I know he's a little turnover prone, but like, is it just because he dated Cavender and broke up with her?
That and just like some of the leaks that's come out and just a little bit of everything. I mean, he had his car robbed of him. I mean, he's kind of been through all of the stuff. And then another guy who had a really good, just like numbers wise, like just like whether it be just not really the throwing. I mean, I guess his arm talent was good, but like the 40-yard dash and everything was Taylon Green. Like,
oh yeah, he played
really good.
I think a team's going to take him earlier than I think third, fourth round for him because he's got the talent. He's tall.
Yeah,
tall. He's fast.
He just had to force so many like passes when he was in Arkansas. It just led to
Arkansas. At Arkansas, he played good football. I thought he played good football at Arkansas.
Yeah, he would just force things at times. But
he made the Arkansas team look way better than they probably were under Pittman's final years.
And he's got like a cannon arm too. And he's got like, I mean, people are kind of his like the draft.
He's a better and a faster KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, I would say like the combine stuff that it's kind of like the Anthony Richardson combine stuff. But I mean, they're kind of could be comparable guys, but it'll be interesting to see.
But Taylon Green's going to go about where Anthony Richardson probably should have as a developmental guy.
Yeah, Taylon Green also had more experience. Then we had some guys like Pavia. Apparently, the North Dakota State guy did pretty good too. I forget his name.
Yeah, according to CBS Sports, he's Cole Payton, North Dakota State quarterback, 6'3", 233. He's probably the third. He's their third quarterback on the board.
Wow. Then it looked like I watched some of the Ty Simpson combine. He looked pretty good out there. So
yeah, I mean, Ty Simpson was the reason a lot of these teams wanted to watch the quarterbacks because Fernando decided I don't need to throw. Honestly,
he's already gone 1-1.
He doesn't need to. He's going to go 1-1. He'll probably throw at his pro day in Indiana's pro day, and probably either later this month or next month.
Probably the most prospects.
All these quarterbacks will probably throw at their pro day. But here's the thing about the combine. I don't really care for the combine because let's explain this to my brother. All the most important stuff at the combine happen behind the scenes.
Yeah, all the interviews and everything. It's
not just with the interview, not just the interviews stuff. A lot of times, like these these players are so well trained that you can't even like understand like what they are, what their personality is. Like,
Yeah, can't get a face to
and
face.
and then like why are you why are you
Like
why
how
are
you
you evaluating a guy by track stuff if he's going to play football? An example of this, not quarterback related, but Ruben Bain. People think Ruben Bain is going to fall because of his wingspan. Did you watch him at Miami?
yeah, the wingspan doesn't really matter for him, right? He's a
Yeah,
demon.
I mean, Aiden Hutchinson probably got dropped the number 2 because of short wingspan. Look how good he is.
Yeah. It's just
But
gonna be
also,
interesting to see.
going one more thing. The last other thing at the combine is that GMs and owners can talk like in person. You saw a ton of trades happen this past weekend because they're all together. They can just talk and get stuff done like that.
Yeah.
Montgomery to the Texans thing happened at the combine. That's the nice thing about the combine. The other things about guys returning / leaving. One guy's shooting up boards because he's finally healthy, and he made his name in Mobile at the Senior Bowls. Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
He played. What I heard is he was incredible at the Senior Bowl.
Well, he said it in like the pre-combine interviews and everything with the reporters. He's like, I got hurt it was either the first day or second day of fall practice. And
yeah, remember we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Like,
we were like in the whole season.
Yeah, I remember that day. LSU fans were like, is he season-ending hurt? Nothing came out of it, but there were reports coming around like he got
kind of just puffed up and played through it. And I mean, it kind of showed his accuracy was bad. He couldn't really be mobile at all. He was just taking hit after hit. I mean, he didn't really. His offensive line didn't give him any help. He was getting hit.
No, it wasn't a great offensive line. I mean, LSU last year was
you could tell in the first game
centric. Their defensive additions worked great, but again, it's the rule of mid. The other side didn't really work, and a lot of their offensive line, their entire offensive line last year left outside DJ Chester, and you could tell. But I think Garrett Nussmeier, just as a player, I think he could be one of those guys that could get good minutes, like as a backup, and be a pretty good player in the NFL, just because he has all the flashes. Like that, the LSU footage when he was healthy was really, really good. Obviously, stuff to work on, but really good footage. I think he's going to find a nice little spot in the NFL. Like, I'm really high on Garrett Nussmeier.
If he doesn't get picked up, I'm sure he'll get picked up on waiver wires.
He'll be one of the first. He'll probably be the first guy off waiver wires
to his dad's team.
The Bucks, yeah.
Honestly. Oh, the Saints.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's a guy who had a good. I like Nussmeier. I hope he does good.
Yeah, and again, he was projected number one, probably number one overall. There's a reason.
Here's the question I have. I guess we'll find out when next month in April.
I mean, there's a few guys in here.
Do you think Pavia gets drafted? I mean, do you think the teams are just going to start taking quarterbacks left and right towards the end of the draft? I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks.
There's one team I think that could draft him, but late.
Yeah. Like the Browns or something?
No, I don't think the Browns are going to take him. No, there's another team.
Let's see. Falcons?
Other bird team.
Seahawks?
Keep going. NFC.
I'm trying to think of the bird teams. Eagles.
I think the Eagles pick him because
I guess they could have someone for tush pushes and stuff.
Not only that, but like he's a locker room guy.
Yeah,
and I think the biggest problem in Philadelphia right now is their locker room mentality, and that Jalen Hurts is not really like a locker room presence. Pavia could be a locker room presence for the quarterbacks.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
plus he'd be great in that
city.
he'd
He'd
be
be great in that city. He's a villain.
city with that media fan base, along with just being a good teammate, and he could run a very similar offense.
He's a good teammate, and he's also a good villain, and he fits the mold of Philly right there.
His teammates love him. His teammates love him.
Yeah, that would be an interesting spot. It would just be interesting to see if he gets drafted or not.
But my take on like this year's quarterbacks leaving is like there's a lot of guys in here that were supposed to be projected to go really high that really aren't. Like here, listen to these three. Remember how high a lot of people had these guys go in preseason drafts? Kate Klubnik, Drew Aller,
Yeah,
Sawyer Robertson, who I think could be pretty good.
yeah. I mean, if
Garrett Nussmeier, like all guys that could have been really high draft picks, but this year really hurt him.
So the Rams are a team in the first round. I don't know if they'll take quarterback or not.
Not anymore.
They had a good. They have another pick in the first round. So they gave up that one in the trade, but they have the Falcons pick still.
Yeah, but that one's like 8.
Yeah, they would never. I mean, they could.
I don't think they're going to take. I don't think they're going to
wait till next year.
I don't think Ty goes that high. Like
Yeah,
Ty's probably going to be the only quarterback taken in the first round. I don't think he goes that high.
two quarterbacks taken in the first round, instead of Mendoza, of course.
Yeah.
I could see the Rams taking a quarterback like Klubnik or Auer or Robertson or Nussmeier, maybe like in a second or third round, maybe fourth round. That would be a good like. I mean, you have McVay, good system to go in.
Yeah.
I mean, another team.
One little side note. My cat Luca is exploring. So if you see a tail or a kitten, he's a kitten. He's a 3-month-old kitten. So.
And there's a lot of teams, especially free agents. I mean, there's a team like the Niners said they're not trading Mac Jones. I mean,
no, he's making a lot of money.
And that just
one of my good buddies recently put out a tweet on like guys that you thought would be it in the NFL and didn't. One guy said Mac Jones. I was like, actually, Mac Jones
was just put in a bad development.
Good NFL career. I actually think he's having a good NFL career. Vikings, I think the Vikings would gladly pick him up.
I heard,
but the Niners are like, no.
I forget what I heard with the Vikings. Maybe Kirk or Kyler. I mean, Kyler Murray got released yesterday. He could go to the Vikings.
But if you would have asked a few NFL GMs like who'd you rather have, Mac Jones or Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray, I think a lot of places.
I think it'd be Mac Jones. I mean, you still have the upside.
Yeah, and plus he's smart.
Yeah,
doesn't make mistakes. But
that's a lot of there's a lot of quarterbacks. It's not really a quarterback centric draft next year, but we can get on to the college.
We say that every year. That's the funny thing. We say every year it's like a quarterback draft. I don't think we're gonna have a 23 draft class again where it's like
maybe next year.
Caleb, Drake, Jaden, McCarthy, and then who's that fifth guy?
I don't know.
Penix?
Yeah.
No, it was Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, yeah.
It was Bo Nix.
And Penix, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can get on to the returnees. So we got, I mean, Arch is returning. That was no question. I was really not.
I'll say this about this year's college football. Not a lot of big teams Not a lot of big teams have newcomers. I mean, what are the teams this year, the legitimate national title contenders this year?
I'd say just going on names
that are going to have a new quarterback. Let's take
Indiana.
a look. Indiana is going to have a new
OSU.
one, obviously.
I don't really I like Josh Hoover, but that's kind of I don't know.
Here, I'm looking at last year's top 25. Or I can look at a preseason. Here, I'll just look at a preseason.
Let's see.
But basically, not many teams this year are going to have return. Not many teams this year are going to have returning problems.
LSU, Miami. Is he back? Yeah, he's back at USC.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see. I'm looking at just because it's quick for me to get Josh Pate's commissioners. Well, look, it's not great. It's not great, but it's a good way to look at this. So
Alabama, LSU,
Notre Dame, they got a returner. Yeah, Indiana, the guys that are gonna have new quarterbacks. Indiana, Miami.
Yep. Alabama, LSU.
Alabama.
That's 4 at least. That might be it.
Is my Oliver returning too?
He is. Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. Forgot about them.
Penn
That's 5.
State.
Penn State. Yeah.
Let's see. Utah,
That's about it. Utah.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Jerry Curtis.
Missouri.
Yep. I like that pickup.
Let's see. Who else am I missing?
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are we got a lot of returners this year. Not a lot of guys decided to leave this year, which is good. But like, that's gonna be the interesting thing. Like when you're talking about like Indiana or Alabama or
Tennessee,
Miami, or any of these new guys.
Is Tennessee on that top 25?
No.
Well, they're another honorable mention. They're another team without a.
But that's the tough thing is like, how good are these returner quarterbacks? Again, we'll discuss like the quarterback battles in another episode. That's just another episode for itself. This is just returners that we know. Agreed?
Yep.
I mean, we could probably go 30 minutes on Alabama's quarterback debate, but we'll save that for another one.
Yeah,
but
we're just doing like
they're gonna be returning, which is I think it's good for college football.
I mean, we can discuss these three. These are the 3 biggest stories that I think happened. Like the Joey Aguilar court case, he was trying to get another year. He got denied. I mean, that was interesting. I mean, I didn't really expect him to get it.
Why did he get denied? You remember
RICO years or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, forget what it was. His like reasoning behind it. He was like, "I'm still gonna go to the combine and throw. I'm still gonna get paid." Like,
yeah,
it was weird.
Obviously, he was trying to come back because he would have probably made way more money. What I was surprised with is Aguilar led the SEC in passing yards because Tennessee couldn't run the ball this year. They had to pass away one. Joey Aguilar,
he did good.
Honestly, in the long term, he's going to be Tennessee. He's going to be a Tennessee legend for years. Not because he did anything great for Tennessee. He was a really good quarterback. I'm not saying that. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. That's not bad. But the reason is Tennessee didn't fall off as bad as a lot of people thought after the Nico Yamaliava thing. UCLA and Tennessee basically traded quarterbacks, and Tennessee won the trade.
Yeah, do you want to hear? So here's another story I didn't even think about until we were recording is the Darian Mensah stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you think of Aguilar? Like, I think in the long term, Tennessee is going to think of him as a legend just because he played really good football for Tennessee. That wasn't the problem this year for Tennessee. Their offense wasn't the problem. It was the defense. It was the complete opposite of last year for Tennessee. Last year, the defense was incredible because of James Pierce. This year, the offense was good, but the defense was terrible.
Yeah. And it was just kind of interesting. I mean, I think he'll go down, definitely in the Tennessee, just because he was loyal. He came in there. Nobody really had any expectations, but he threw a lot of passes. He turned it over a lot. I mean, they didn't really have any expectations, and he did pretty solid. I mean, But another story we can get into, I guess we can stick in the SEC.
Yeah, let's stay in the SEC, and then we'll do the two guys that you were thinking of.
It's Trinidad Chambliss. It was like an hour. Like, it was a long case.
This one took a while because this one was way more of a –
He was sick.
Way more complicated.
Yeah, he was sick and missed like most of one of his JUCO years. I mean, deservingly so. If you missed some time with injury or sickness or whatever, especially during the kind of the COVID era at that time, because I
Yeah.
think it was during 22 or
I also
23
think
years.
this is the biggest win out of any of
Yeah.
these court cases and any of the returners. This is the big one because
It was either him or Deuce Knight.
I don't know how good Ole Miss would have been without him. I don't think they would have been probably good because again, a lot of what Ole Miss players that Ole Miss took to that semifinal run are leaving, along with the coaches. Trinidad coming back and Kyron Lacey coming back makes Ole Miss a legitimate threat in the SEC.
Keep on, Lacey. Come on, Lacey.
Key one. Also,
Trinidad with
quarterback in the SEC.
I think Tennessee is probably going to be trending back towards the defensive, but we'll get that into another.
Yeah, we'll go later into that. But Trinidad coming back and winning that case, he's the best quarterback in the SEC.
It was like a 4-hour he was like reading the judge was like reading like the decision for like 3 hours, like just reading like hundreds of pages of documents. It was crazy.
I would have sat there just going,
just get it over with. But I mean, he changes everything from
5-sentence summary of this whole thing. Trinidad
changes everything because they were I mean, they had the last drive. They were at like the 20-yard line, and that's where it ended. I mean, they were making play. That second half of that Miami game was like absolute cinema because they were just trading blows.
The best game of the year was probably the Ole Miss Georgia Sugar Bowl, and Ambulance basically turned into Kirby's. The only people that beat Kirby Smart's defense are that type of player, like a Johnny Manziel, like a Bryce Young, and now Chambliss.
And look, he probably wasn't a guy who was gonna probably get. I mean, he would probably have been like a day 3 pick, probably if he would have had to go to the draft. But it's like
I would assume so.
Whatever, he gets another year making a really, really lot of NIL money, and then who knows what can happen. I mean, I guess
another thing that's crazy is that he's not transferring. He decided to stay.
Yeah.
Even before like this court case was settled, he's like, if I'm good to go, I'm staying on Ole Miss. I'm not going to LSU.
No, and LSU ended up with Sam Webb, and that was another whole situation. But I mean,
Let's get to the 2 legal battles before we get into that.
Then
let's do this one quick because this one's quick. Sorsby.
Sorsby. I mean, Darian Mensah real quick since that's kind of on the topic of the court case stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Sorsby.
Darian Mensah was signed to a big deal at Duke. Then randomly, like right when the portal was closing, this is probably like the last 2 days of the portal pretty much as it was open.
Yeah.
Darian Mensah enters the portal, and then
everyone knows exactly where he was going to.
Yeah.
Everyone knew.
And then he like visited Miami, and then not only did he go, but his best receiver went with him as well. So now, I mean, Miami, Darian Mensah had a really good year at Duke last year. They won the ACC title. I mean, that was quite the crazy year in the ACC, but they still won the conference championship. He had a good year. I mean, he's kind of like I mean, they're stealing Miami as a.
I think Duke probably sued him. Probably. Yeah. Court cases.
Yeah, who knows?
Again, he breached a 2-year deal to go to Miami. He got more money. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Probably Miami will pay it. They'll sell it out of court. It's the same thing with Cincinnati and Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, pretty much.
He left, didn't pay the buyout, go to Texas Tech, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, Cincinnati was like $1 million or whatever.
Yeah. One more court case that kind of fell under the radar because this was at the same time as Trinidad, but it didn't work out for him. Chad Morris, Virginia.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Well, they took a lot of quarterbacks in the portal.
They did.
I mean, I forget who else they took. I know they took Prebula. I don't know who the other one was.
One of them. But
I mean, that was an interesting one. I mean, it's kind of time to hang it up, man.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get into the transfer portal stuff.
Oh my God, how long we got? Okay, before we summarize everyone, who are the guys that in the portal outside of Sorsby, outside of the ones we've talked about? What's the quarterback that you think will have the biggest impact or What quarterback do you think is going to be most impactful for their team out of the portal?
I mean, I think it's automatic. Drew Mestamaker going to Oklahoma State. I mean, new year, same coach.
I've got another one.
I think he can be like him and Josh Huber. Probably like it's like you can't really go wrong with either two because they'll produce there, but you have more question marks with Huber. Just you don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, Who was yours?
Mine is Byron Brown.
Yeah, I was going to say him too.
The reason is because Auburn hasn't had a good quarterback play since 2000, probably.
Yeah, Oklahoma State hasn't had one either.
How long has it been since Auburn had good quarterback play?
I mean, Bo Nix.
I think 19 Bo Nix. I would go 17 Stidham.
Yeah,
I'd go 17 Jared Stidham. It's been a while since Auburn's had a legitimate threat at quarterback, and Byron Brown is a player. Now, is Golish? Did he probably carry USF to heights? Not because of Golish, but because of it, maybe. But again, Byron Brown's going to be a legitimate threat in the SEC, and people are going to have to film around Auburn. Auburn's quarterback situation is not going to be an outlier like it has been for the past, in my personal opinion, 9 years. You now legitimately have to film and game plan around Byron Brown because you didn't have to do that for Jackson Arnold, Bo Nix at Auburn. Eventually you did, but not at Auburn.
Yeah.
TJ Finley.
They've had Bo Nix, TJ Finley.
I should know all these Auburn quarterbacks because of Iron Bowls, but
I don't even remember any of these quarterbacks at this point. Peyton Thorne.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold. Sure, the three I remember at this point. I mean, I'm going through the portal, just the quarterback stuff. There's a lot of interesting names here.
Bruce was bad. He could have had Mendoza. He could have had Mendoza too, but he decided Jackson Arnold.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Sam Leavitt to LSU. That was an interesting one. LSU it himself. I mean, we could.
I had no idea what LSU would have done at quarterback.
They got some guy from
I didn't think it was going to be Leavitt. I didn't think it was going to be Leavitt. Actually,
they took 3 quarterbacks out of the portal. They took Leavitt, that Longstreet from USC, and then some guy from Elon. I forget his name.
You want to know my take on this one? Leavitt's fine. I think Jordan Tyson really helped him out a lot at Arizona State.
And Scatterby.
I think the pickup that excites me for LSU is Hugh Longstreet from USC. Yeah. This guy's got some talent.
I'm interested to see how Sorsby does too, because
Weather will probably do great because Lane Kiffin at LSU with Caden Durham, and Caden Durham's going to be a problem. And then LSU never has a problem at receiver. I'm expecting Leavitt to be pretty good. I'm not expecting great things out of Leavitt. I'm not expecting Heisman out of Leavitt. I'm expecting good quarterback play, which should get LSU into the playoff.
Yeah. So Mestamaker going to Oklahoma State. Here's one where it's kind of funny. You
want to know something about Mestamaker? I think he's probably he's a top 3 quarterback in the Big 12 already.
Oh, the Big 12 is right now.
Bachmeier.
Hey, you could put DJ Lagway. I was fixing to mention him.
I go Bachmeier, Sorsby, and Mestamaker.
Yeah. I don't even know who, a lot of these teams are going to have, because TCU going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah. We'll see.
A lot of teams. Lagway goes to – then we have Dylan Raiola going to Oregon to back up Dante Moore for a seat, which isn't actually bad for him.
He's doing the Dante Moore route.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
No, it's good. Good pickup. He's going to get paid no tomorrow. He's going to have the help around him. He's going to have
He had a really bad year.
He's also going to have Decorium Moore in his junior year. So get ready for that.
Rocco Beck going to Penn State, obviously. Could be Big 12 to Big 10.
That was the easiest portal move of them all.
And it's look, you're gonna get good money from Penn State. Penn State has
Rocco Beck's going to be consistent. Honestly, with Penn State's schedule, Rocco
They
Beck's
could.
pretty good.
Yeah, I've been talking to people about Penn State's schedule.
Again, as you know, as everyone knows, I'm a big Iowa State. I was a big Iowa State guy. I was a big.
Penn State is set up this year to. They could win like 8 to 9 games this year, maybe even 10. That schedule is pretty easy.
Yeah, Penn State's going to be. This is going to be a good hire for Penn State. And getting Rocco Beck was massive.
Here's the SEC. Austin Simmons, the Missouri, that he has really high ceiling. He's injury prone lefty quarterback. I like him.
I don't understand why Missouri doesn't just develop a quarterback, because Eli Drinkwitz can develop a quarterback.
Yeah. Grunkmeyer went from Penn State to Virginia Tech. That was kind of a no-brainer as well.
No-brainer. Look, good pick. Good pickup for Frank.
Minchie he was going to go to Nebraska, then he went to Kentucky.
Who?
Kenny Minchie from Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good fit for him because Will Stein's at now Kentucky. Yeah. And Will Stein's been doing wonders with Oregon quarterbacks. So
then, Aaron Philo went to Florida for John Summerall's probably starting quarterback. Is he reuniting with Eric Singleton as well? So that'll be good for.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's one that actually could be ending up good because of where the spot he's in. As we know, Jeff Brom has been really, really solid with quarterbacks. How about the Ohio State guy, Lincoln Kienholz?
Yeah, I didn't remember this one. He's from Louisville.
Yeah.
Good pickup for Louisville.
I don't know. I think Miller Moss may have another year.
Highly touted guy going to Jeff Brom. I like that.
Yeah.
I forgot. Here's one.
Cutter Boley went to ASU. He was decent.
I got one. When you were talking about Eric Singleton, know what that brought me up to?
Who was that?
Georgia Tech. They got a completely new backfield. They got a completely new quarterback and running back.
Who did they get at quarterback?
Mendoza's brother.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. He's
Mendoza's brother.
Yeah.
They host Tennessee week 1. They get Tennessee week 1 in Georgia Tech.
I guess I'm just going down the list.
The legend Haynes King, the legendary Haynes King, ran out of eligibility, so they got Mendoza's brother.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the list. We got Anthony Calandria went. He had a good year for UNLV. He went to Nebraska.
Okay. I'll give you one. We haven't talked about it much. DJ Lagway to Baylor. He's going to put up numbers at Baylor. He'll put up numbers at Baylor.
And this might be Aranda's last year.
His father went to Florida.
He went to Baylor.
Yeah, that's right.
Baylor. This could be Aranda's last year.
Yeah,
should be, unless they.
Aranda's mid.
Yeah, Berto. Yeah, that's a good. That could be a sneaky good pickup because they got Justice Haynes as well. And that could be.
His brother.
Good. Yeah, to help him out.
Georgia Tech had a nice portal, surprisingly really nice portal for Georgia Tech because I didn't realize how much they went into the portal. But Brent Key, man. He's
and they're gonna load up on offensive line too. They'll be.
Okay, I'll give you one. I got one with talking about another team that they didn't make a move in the portal, so this is a little off topic, but I'm interested in what they do at quarterback because this is one of those teams that's has a true quarterback battle. What's Clemson doing at quarterback?
Probably Christopher Vezina from Briarwood.
I guess.
He'll be a senior. He stayed there all 4 years. Probably. I'd pretty much bank him in as I don't even know who else they have on their who they pick up.
That's the most Dabo Swinney thing to do.
Yeah. I think they're just gonna reward him for staying for this long.
Yeah. Who else? Is there anyone else any other big moves in the?
Marcel Reed staying. There's a lot of quarterbacks staying. I guess we could do a whole. So who would you have as a top SEC? We can top quarterback in the SEC. When Norris Sellers staying, he's already lost both of his offensive tackles though. Did you see that?
Yeah. Let's see. 1 second.
I think we covered all the big name quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are going to be. A lot of guys also are just go like 5-star bust, and then yeah, like okay, I'll give you one. I'll give you one that could be something, but I doubt it. Malachi Nelson, former 5-star, going to Syracuse.
That could be something, but I mean,
Backup Angeli.
he was bad at UTEP.
Yeah, I agree. All right, All right, let's go back. No, okay. Cobb's quarterback in the SEC.
Yeah, to wrap things up,
I would go.
I think it would go Arch, which is how the season ended. Arch.
No, I'm not. I'll go Trinidad.
Yeah, that's true.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Arch too, probably. How about how about Gunnar Stockton? Where would you put him? I think I just put him in the middle of the
Arch. I'd put Gunnar at 3. He wins. Yeah. Gunnar wins, and he plays.
Dude. Gunnar,
underrated quarterback in college football. Like
I'd probably do Arch, Trinidad.
He's not an NFL guy, but he wins, and that's what works at Georgia. Guys that win.
I'll do Gunnar. Gunnar at 3. Yeah, I'll do that, and then 2 Trinidad. I like Arch. He had a really solid end of the season.
Oh, you're not going to be creative. You're not going to be creative.
No. I mean,
there's
Marcel Reed 4.
I'll give you another one that I think could be pretty good. I think this one could be. He could be pretty good because he's fully healthy. Mateer.
Oh yeah.
I think Mateer in year 2
is
going to be really way better.
Yeah. They need a run game because they just did not have a run game.
That would help Mateer so much.
And they didn't have many receivers. They were a weird offense, man. You thought they were going to be so like dynamic, and then they just kind of once he hurt his arm.
They were defensively carried, kind of like but they had the best defense, maybe the best defense in the SEC.
I mean, Arbuckle. They retained Arbuckle and they got Mateer back. So I mean, I would put Mateer
that's my underrated
Mateer in the middle, probably the top 5 edge, maybe like 5 to 7 range.
Yeah,
I forgot he was back. I mean, Mississippi State. Well, I forget. Demario Taylor, he's back. Demario
Taylor, and they got Jaden Rashada from Sacramento State. So
Demario Taylor is dynamic, man. He can run.
He played good at the end. It's just everything else around State. That's their problem.
Yeah.
All right. Best quarterback in the Big Ten. This one's easy for me.
Who are you going?
Julian.
Then we got him or Mayava. Sayin or Mayava, who I would go with.
Not Dante?
Oh, yeah, Dante. I forgot about Dante. Yeah, Dante. I probably go Dante Moore.
I am with you.
Like staying in the big games, man.
I am with you on Mayava. Like Mayava is really good.
I think I would have Sayin at 3. I think I would have Dante Moore, Mayava, and then Sayin. I just did not like how Sayin was in the big games. He
wasn't great in the big games, but he was young.
Like he disappeared in that Indiana game.
Yeah, fair.
And in the Miami game, he was pretty bad too.
I also think he went against two.
Yeah, his offensive line just got
killed.
He was rushing it.
I would go Sayin 1 though. I like Sayin. I think Sayin's really good.
In Big 12, probably Mestamaker.
I'd go. I said it earlier.
Sorsby,
Mestamaker, Bachmeier.
Yeah.
Bear Bachmeier. ACC, Mensa.
Yeah, Mensa.
ACC, it's either Darian Mensa or Kevin Jennings at SMU.
Oh, I forget about Jennings. Yeah, he's definitely
Kevin Jennings or Darian Mensa are the best quarterbacks in the ACC.
And there's some, and that's pretty much.
All right. One last thing before let's question. Who do you think is going to be the underrated guy? The guy that like not many people are talking about, but he's going to have a massive impact. Kind of like Mendoza was last year.
I think it'd be Camario Taylor from Mississippi State.
Camario Taylor from Mississippi State.
I mean, they may not be as good as like wins, losses as that goes, but he'll put up stats. I mean, Just like the couple games I saw him, I mean, they let him loose. He can rush for 1,000
I'm going
yards.
Mr. Maker at Oklahoma State. I think
Yeah, that too.
I think their offense. I think Oklahoma State could legit. The Big 12 is so weird that I could see Oklahoma State be like top 3 in the Big 12
Yeah.
next year.
I
would not be
answer
surprised.
fire last year. That was
But that's the Big 12 for you.
yeah.
Like, we know Texas Tech's going to be good, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then guy that everyone's really hyping up, but you're kind of iffy on.
Probably Josh Hoover.
Hoover?
Yeah. Or Sam Levitt.
Why Josh Hoover? We haven't talked a lot about
He's just he was really good with TCU. Going to Indiana, TCU was like a pass, probably like throw it 50 times a game. I mean, you go to India. He was originally committed to Indiana at one point in his high school, so it's kind of like full circle. And then he's going to Indiana, where they kind of like they really mix in the run game as well. We'll probably throw it maybe like 20 to 30 times a game.
20, 30.
I'm
going.
And he throws a lot of picks, and he could put them in danger. I mean, Mendoza was throwing a lot of picks. They may not have the receivers that they had last year. They're not going to have Omar Cooper.
They do have an insane receiver though. Nick Marsh. Getting Nick Marsh.
Yeah. They don't have Omar Cooper or Surratt, and those guys. I mean,
I think it's the defense that I'm worried about.
Oh, I forget who's the other guy they had. Who's the other receiver they have? He's back. Charlie Becker. He's going to be a dog this year for Indiana.
He's a slot demon.
He could go like first round.
He's so many big passes in those.
Yeah.
Especially like every third down in the
every third down, they'll just run a go route with him, and he would just
they run a back shoulder fade to him.
Yeah, and he would just catch it. I mean, he was a dog. I think Hoover. Indiana season's going to be riding on Hoover this year.
Yeah, I don't think their schedule isn't the hardest, but
no.
I'll give you one guy that's at a new school, one guy that everyone thinks is going to take the next step. I don't see it this year. First guy is Levitt.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think he's going to be awful. I just don't think Heisman, like a lot of people are saying. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think Tyson.
There's going to be a lot of. They just didn't.
They're going to have to rely on him a fair amount because the receivers at LSU are talented, but they're young.
They have a lot of transfers.
Doesn't have a lot of experience. Who are LSU's receivers this upcoming year? Because they're losing Barry Brown. They're losing Aaron Anderson. They're going to have Xavier Thomas, which is big. Who else?
And plus, that transfer from Hawaii, Jackson Harris. I forget. Eugene Wilson.
LSU's also going to have to go on the road. Levitt's also going to have to play on the road.
Eugene Wilson went to LSU.
Here's another thing. He's going to have to go on the road.
Yeah.
And Levitt on the road has not been great.
Oh, they got Kansas State's number 1, Jace Brown. He was pretty good.
Okay.
He's got a bunch of guys that they're going to have to carve out roles. It's going to be like a lot of like receiver.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just like, I'm a little worried.
Well, hey, he does have a guy who could be Jordan Tyson, but he plays tight end. I mean, Trey'Dez Green is an absolute monster.
I think Caden Durham's going to be that offense.
Yeah.
And
who was that? Who was that 5-star running back that they kept?
Barry?
Yeah. Aaron Barry. I think he can have a good year too.
Yeah, he's good. The person that I don't think is going to take the next step this year, that's returning is Bryce Underwood.
Yeah. It's just such a weird fit.
How Kyle Whittingham runs his offense, I don't see it from Bryce Underwood. I don't see it because Kyle Whittingham is basically a better version of Sharon Moore's offense. They run the ball. They run the ball and play good defense. That's what Kyle Whittingham at Utah is. And that's what he's going to bring to Michigan. He's also going to bring stability, but I don't think that's the best thing in the world for Bryce Underwood. I don't think that's the best thing for Underwood.
No.
Plus, Underwood's gonna have to go on the road way more this year than he did last year. He's gonna have to go on the road to Columbus. He's gonna have to go on the road to. I think he's gonna go to Happy Valley.
I think they do play. I think they do play.
They play Penn State. I don't know where.
I think it might be in the Big House. Pretty sure it's in the Big House.
I don't think he's gonna take that next step. I think he's gonna be. He won't be bad. He'll just be kind of what he was last year, in my opinion. Yeah, they got to go on the road. They got to go to Autzen, though. They do have to go on the road to Autzen. They get Indiana. This is
loaded schedule for Michigan.
Brutal schedule this year. They get
Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana.
Well, here's the thing: they got Minnesota, they got Oklahoma, Iowa.
Oh yeah, forget they play that return game.
They got to go to Minnesota. That's
never easy.
Penn State, Indiana, Rutgers, Michigan State, and then Oregon. Got to go to Oregon. Got to go to Columbus.
Not easy.
They play the top 4 teams in the Big Ten.
And I don't even know who they even have in their team anymore.
The only top team they don't play in the Big Ten, in my opinion, that's going to be really good is USC. But instead, they get Oklahoma.
I didn't even see any splash portal guys that they got. I mean, I know they probably got some good guys. I just didn't really see any that were talked about much from Michigan's end. They're going to be a lot of question marks next year.
Yeah.
All right. Got anything else?
Nope.
We'll be back.
Oh, one last thing. According to NFL rumors, this could be true or not. 49ers are asking for a first for Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, we'll be back to keep doing these off-season episodes, especially in college. And then once free agency and the draft is coming up for NFL, we'll get into that.
Yep.
We'll probably can do a mock draft or something.
We'll do mock drafts when it gets a little closer.
Yeah. But other than that, Fourth and a Mile podcast, Nicholas Elliott, JD Zasa. We're signing off. We'll be back. Hopefully soon. Guys.